Psalm 4 is often seen as an evening prayer. It closes with, "In peace I will lie down and sleep, for you alone, Lord, make me dwell in safety." We're not given the context in Psalm 4 as we were with Psalm 3, though it certainly does fit the same sort of circumstances in David's life. Perhaps this is still talking about Absalom's rebellion. It begins with a sense of urgency and distress in verse 1. "Answer me when I call to you, my righteous God. Give me relief from my distress. Have mercy on me and hear my prayer." Notice the personal connection that David has with God. He is not simply asking for help, but that God himself would be the help that David so desperately needs. Answer me when I call you, my righteous God. Not send relief, but give me relief from my distress. We might think that relief could come from a greater army or swift defeat of his enemies, but relief comes from God. Next, David speaks to his opponents, those causing such deep distress. He says, "How long will you people turn my glory into shame? How long will you love delusions and seek false gods?" This certainly fits with the picture of David's son trying to seize the throne and the people going along with Absalom, doesn't it? As David turns to the people here, he accuses them of turning his glory into his shame. "How long will you love delusions," he says, "and seek false gods?" Or, as the footnote will tell you, or seek after lies. Absalom was a liar, and he did indeed set himself up as a form of false god. "If I were judge of the land, I would make all your problems disappear." The people fell in love with the delusion of a devoted son of David, and now David says, "How long will you love delusions and seek false gods or lies?" It would be shocking enough for any son to turn against his father in this way, but for the king of all Israel to be robbed of his glory, it intensifies the shame he experiences. David says, "Just know that the Lord has set apart his faithful servant for himself. The Lord hears when I call to him." The people of Israel are not just picking a different leader, they are opposing God's chosen king, anointed by the will of God, chosen and accepted in him. There are interesting parallels when we consider that we have been chosen in Christ before the foundation of the world to be adopted into his family as his sons and daughters forever. And that relationship with him may cause others to reject us. But when that happens, we should take comfort in knowing we are rejected by them but accepted by God. In a world that is increasingly hostile towards the Christian faith, it is comforting to know that God is with us, that the ruler of heaven and earth loves us and listens to us, and our strength is found in him. See David's gracious response to his enemies. He could have cursed them, but he offers wise counsel to them. He says, "Tremble and do not sin. When you are on your beds, search your hearts and be silent. Offer the sacrifices of the righteous and trust in the Lord." In the New Testament, the Apostle Paul will quote these words, and he will encourage God's people, "In your anger, do not sin." David says to those who are hostile against him, "Be humble and do not sin," and that is an instruction given out of love for them. You see that even as David is under threat, David has the heart of a shepherd, as he has done ever since he was a boy. And now, rejected by these sheep, he still wants their best. The best thing they can do is to trust in the Lord. Many, Lord, are asking, "Who will bring us prosperity? Let the light of your face shine on us. Fill my heart with joy when their grain and new wine abound." This is the question that David imagines many in Jerusalem are asking. Who will bring us prosperity? If it is Absalom, then we will follow him. But what they need is not prosperity, but peace with God. Let the light of your face shine on us. David recognizes that the peace he feels comes not from a desire for material prosperity, but from the very presence of God. And that is what we all need. Fill my heart with joy when their grain or new wine abound. Or, as the ESV puts it, you have put more joy in my heart than they have when grain and new wine abound. If you have God and nothing, you have everything. If you have everything but you don't have God, you have nothing. What good is it to gain the whole world and yet forfeit your very soul? What good is it if your barns are bursting with grain and yet the Lord's face is turned away and his blessing is not placed upon you, and one day his judgment will crash down upon you instead? What good will your grain do for you then? In peace I will lie down and sleep. For you alone, Lord, make me dwell in safety. And so, as the day ends, as this psalm closes, David reflects upon the rebellion and the rejection he is experiencing. And yet he is at peace, because his peace is not rooted in the removal of all trouble, but in the presence of the God who loves him. Where do you find your peace? Perhaps, like many, you lie awake at night with fear, burdens, regrets, and perhaps you seek your peace in the next job or holiday or stage of life. But true peace comes not from the absence of trouble, but from the presence of the Lord. As you lie down tonight, if your life feels chaotic or calm, know this: the face of the Lord shines down upon you if your trust is in him.